यशोदानन्दना व्रजजनरञ्जना यमुनातीरावनचारी यमुनातीरावनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे जय राधा माधव जय राधा माधव जय राधा माधव जय गौरानीता जय गौरानीता गौरानीताय जय गौरानीताय जय प्रहलाद नरसिंह जय प्रहलाद नरसिंह प्रहलाद नरसिंह जय प्रहलाद नरसिंह जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद निताय गौर हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल नमो विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिराजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत हिज डिवाइन ग्रेस अभय चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी शील प्रभुपाद की अनंत कोटि वैष्णवविंद की नामाचार्य श्रील हरिदास ठाकुर की निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे। So today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, chapter 19, text number 19. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati uttama-śloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. Please repeat after me. Maharṣayo vai samupāgatāye praśasya sādviti anumodamānāḥ ūcuḥ prajānugraha-śīla-sārā yad uttama-śloka-guṇābhirūpam maharṣayo vai samupāgatāye praśasya sādvitya anumodamānāḥ ūcuḥ prajānugraha-śīla-sārā yad uttama-śloka-guṇābhirūpam maharṣayo vai samupāgatāye praśasya sādvitya anumodamānāḥ ūcuḥ prajānugraha-śīla-sārā yad uttama-śloka-guṇābhirūpam. Prabhuji. Maharṣayo vai samupāgatāye praśasya sādvitya anumodamānāḥ ūcuḥ prajā-anugraha-śīla-sārā yad uttama-śloka-guṇābhirūpam. Maharṣayo vai samupāgatāye praśasya sādvitya anumodamānāḥ ūcuḥ prajā-anugraha-śīla-sārā yad uttama-śloka-guṇābhirūpam. Mataji. Maharṣayo vai samupāgatāye praśasya sādvitya anumodamānāḥ ūcuḥ prajā-anugraha-śīla-sārā yad uttama-śloka-guṇābhirūpam. Word to word translation. Please repeat after me. Maharṣayaḥ, the great sages, why, as a matter of course, samupāgatā, assembled there, ye, those who, praśasya, by praising, sādhu, quite all right. Iti, thus, anumodamānāḥ, all approving. Ūcuḥ, said. Prajā-anugraha, doing good to the living being. śīla-sārāḥ, qualitatively powerful. Yet, because uttama-śloka, one who is praised by selected poems. guṇa-abhirūpam, as beautiful as godly qualities. Translation, please repeat after me. All the great sages who were assembled there also praised the decision of Mahārāja Parīkṣit, and they expressed their approval by saying, very good. Naturally, the sages are inclined to do good to common men, for they have all the qualitative powers of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, they were very much pleased to see Mahārāja Parīkṣit, a devotee of the Lord, and they spoke as follows. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. The natural beauty of a living being is enhanced by raising up to the platform of devotional service. Mahārāja Parīkṣit was absorbed in attachment for Lord Krishna. Seeing this, the great sages assembled were very pleased, and they expressed their approval by saying, very good. Such sages are naturally inclined to do good to the common man. And when they see a personality like Mahārāja Parīkṣit advance in devotional service, their pleasure knows no bounds, and they offer all blessings in their power. The devotional service of the Lord is so auspicious that all demigods and sages, up to the Lord Himself, become pleased with the devotee. And therefore the devotee finds everything auspicious. All inauspicious matters are removed from the path of a progressive devotee. Meeting all the great sages at the time of death was certainly auspicious for Mahārāja Parīkṣit, and thus he was pleased by the so-called curse of a Brahmana boy. Mangalacharan. Om ajnana-timirandhasya jnananjana-shalakaya chakshurunmilitam yena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Sapadantikam Vandeham Shri Gurun Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratushe Namah. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukham Karvati Vachalam Pangum Langayate Giri Yat Kripatamaham Vande Shri Gurum Dinatarine Paramanandam Madhavam Shri Chaitanyam Ishwaram Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Prabhupadanugami Shri Subhak Swamine Sada Dainyashili Subhagyaya Sarvajiva Kripabde Guru Shiksha Sadachara Palakaya Namostute. Hare Krishna. The appearance of Sukadeva Goswami. So whenever there is the appearance of any sadhu coming, giving us association, it's very auspicious. See, here we see that Krishna departed from this material world. And then he wanted to come back in the form of Srimad Bhagavatam. So he took this opportunity, he created this whole scene. Mahārāja Parīkṣit, a great devotee, such a great personality that from his very birth, actually within the womb of his mother itself, he could see Krishna. He got the association of Krishna. So such a great personality, how could he commit such a blunder? Of course, it was not such a big blunder that the Brahmana boy should have cursed him to die. And that's why Prabhupada mentioned in the purport that so-called curse of a Brahmana boy. So this is like blessings in disguise. So Parīkṣit Maharaj, when he was cursed by this boy, he took this opportunity that let me surrender completely at the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. He also prayed that previously I was in these household affairs. I was entangled in this household affairs. So Krishna, being very pleased, he tricked it. In this way, he made his plan. Prabhupada mentioned that Krishna, for those special devotees, Krishna sometimes makes such plans. So Krishna made his plan so that Mahārāja Parīkṣit come out of his kingdom, leave his kingdom, and completely surrenders at the lotus feet of Krishna, and then the Srimad Bhagavatam could be spoken. So that this was Parīkṣit could understood this plan of Krishna, because he has seen that so many sages are coming from different planets, even demigods are coming, and it's not like suddenly they appeared. It was desire of Krishna that they should appear. So suddenly you see the sages appeared on the banks of the Ganges, Yamuna, and Parīkṣit was there. He received them very nicely, and he is preparing for death. So he wanted to fast until he dies. Generally we see people, if you know that we are going to die soon, so they want to enjoy more material enjoyment. They want to say, let me go to maybe a Western European trip, American trip, world trip. Let me enjoy very nicely, eat whatever nice dishes are there in the world, or whatever best way possible they want to enjoy. But here Mahārāja Parīkṣit, using this opportunity to hear Krishna Katha. So devotees sees, when there are adversities, devotees sees them as opportunities. When adversities become opportunities to surrender more at the lotus feet of Krishna. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself teaches us that one should associate with devotees of the Lord. So he himself, he became as a greatest devotee of Krishna, and he took the association of exalted devotees like Rai Ramananda, Swarup Damodar, and other great personalities. So he is teaching by his own example that one cannot surrender to Krishna unless he takes association of devotees, especially pure devotees. And here we can see in this assembly, all of them are exalted rishis, maharshis, brahma rishis, demigods, Vyasadeva, Narada himself. Narada is the spiritual master of Vyasadeva, and Vyasadeva's son is Sukadeva Goswami. So they all assembled to hear from Sukadeva Goswami. Such a great assembly. So who don't want to leave his body in such circumstances? So when you have an assembly of such exalted devotees, so we don't fear of death, because we see their devotees, and in their association, we are relishing Krishna Katha. So why we have to fear of death? So the whole chapter, I would say, is a lesson for us that how one can prepare himself to go back to Godhead. And at least in the case of Mahārāja Parīkṣit, he knew that at least he had 7 days. You see, when the Brahmana cursed Parīkṣit Maharaj, he could have cursed him that immediately to die. But he didn't curse him like that. He gave, after 7 days you will die. Because it was all plan of Krishna that in that 7 days that Bhagavatam will be spoken, and then the Bhagavatam will appear. Krishna swa damo pagate dharma jnana bhi saha kalo nasta disamesha puranarko dunoditaha. So when Krishna disappeared, so he came back in the form of Srimad Bhagavatam, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam. So very important. When I was reading this whole translation in purport, every line I felt has so much meaning to understand, to realize that that Srila Prabhupada gave us. So Mahārāja Parīkṣit used this opportunity, these 7 days, instead of being engaged in his kingdom, he gave up his kingdom exactly as Bharat Maharaj did. He gave up his kingdom like a stool. He says, when you pass, evacuate, you don't see, you just reject, you leave it. So similarly, Mahārāja Parīkṣit left his whole kingdom, gave it to his son to rule it, and then he wanted to realize God. So he came on the banks of Ganges. Of course, there was confusion whether it was Ganges or Yamuna, but then Prabhupada clarifies that from Jiva Goswami, quoting Jiva Goswami, that yes, geographically also from Hastinapur, which is Delhi, Yamuna is flowing there downwards. So Prabhupada said he must came out of his kingdom palace and he sat on the bank of the Yamuna river. So in the assembly of great sages, he was, here is mentioned that Parīkṣit sat down on a seat of, all the great sages who were assembled there also praised the decision of Mahārāja Parīkṣit. So what was his decision? His decision was to fast until death. He requested the assembled sages, please glorify the deeds of Vishnu. So he wanted to hear the pastimes, nectarian pastimes of Krishna Katha. And then he also said that if I have to appear in this material world, first he wanted to develop attachment at the lotus feet of Krishna. Very important. And then second thing he said, he wanted to have the association of his devotees, Krishna's devotees. And third, he said, he wanted to have friendly relationship with all the living entities. So these 3 things very important, that why we are practicing Krishna consciousness. Because we want to develop attachment towards Krishna. And then how we will develop, I was mentioning previously, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu showed us, in association of devotees. Bhaktistu bhakta sangena parijayate. In the association of bhakta sangha, one can develop attachment to Krishna. So association of his devotees. And third thing, he wanted that friendly relationship with all living entities. Very important. That if you love God, then you should love all living entities. Samoham sarva bhuteshu name dvesasta na priya. So devotees also, because since they also have that all the godly qualities of the Lord, they also see all living entities equally, because they see Paramatma is situated in everyone's heart. They don't discriminate that he is Hindu, Muslim, Christian, he is whether American, European. No, they see that everybody is Krishna's amsha. Mame amsha jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana. They see Krishna's amsha in all living entities, and they don't become envious of them. Very important here in the purport, Prabhupada is saying that the sages, they were offering their blessings to Mahārāja Parīkṣit. So they were very pleased, and they were offering their prayers to blessing to Mahārāja Parīkṣit. So unless there is a difference, those who are pure devotees, they are non-envious, and those who are not pure devotees, sometimes we see that naturally we have this envy which is coming out. When we see other devotees advancing in Krishna consciousness, we think that, oh, he's advancing. So that envy comes out because we have not yet developed that pure devotional service. So that envy is there. But here, these pure devotees, they are nirmal, they are very pure, that they don't have this envy. So they could praise and bless the devotees. So and then when seeing that Mahārāja Parīkṣit was doing the right thing, that engaging himself in Krishna consciousness, they're praising him. They're saying sādhu, sādhu. By saying sādhu, sādhu, they're praising him. That very good. So when in Krishna consciousness, when we have taken initiation and Guru gives us some instructions to follow, and when he sees that we are following, or at least we are trying to follow, then he becomes pleased. The secret of success in Krishna consciousness life is pleasing a bona fide spiritual master. And by doing that, one can get Krishna. So, and then naturally the sages are inclined to do good to common men. So that's one of the quality of a sage is he is paradukha dukhi. He always wants to do good to common men. So one of the best example is Srila Prabhupada. At the advanced age of 70, where everybody retires, they want to be in Holy Dham or practice Krishna consciousness, staying at home. Prabhupada took that risk of his life. He traveled to West. He went in a cargo ship, Jaladuta. He had twice heart attack. But still, he had that strong, unflinching faith in the instructions of his spiritual master. Yasya deve para bhakti yatha deve tatha guru. So he had that implicit faith in Krishna and in the instructions of his spiritual master. So he went to the West. He took the risk. And then he preached the Krishna consciousness boldly in the West. Why? Because he wanted to do good to the common people. So sadhu is one of the quality you see. They are like always thinking that how we can give this Krishna consciousness movement, how we can spread this Krishna consciousness movement. And we can see in the life of Srila Prabhupada, he was always thinking about how to spread this Krishna consciousness movement. So here one word is mentioned, uttama-śloka. In one of the purports of Srimad Bhagavatam, Srila Prabhupada, of course, uttama-śloka is like the best poems, are also another name of Krishna is uttama-śloka. So Prabhupada mentioning that shloka, he is also quoting shloka, translating shloka as reputation. He says, Krishna has that reputation. What is that? Aishwaryasya samagrasya viryasya yashasthriya. Yasha, reputation, fame, Krishna has. And we are spreading that reputation of Krishna through this Krishna consciousness movement. So you see, Prabhupada saying, you see in the current situation how the Krishna consciousness movement is spreading in all over the world. So the reputation of Krishna is spreading everywhere. And even those who are people who are atheists or those who are non-believers, even sometime out of, to stop, to chastise the devotee, they say, oh, this Hare Krishna movement, Hare Krishna people, And Prabhupada say, even by saying that, they are getting the highest benefit. They are taking the name of Krishna. So in this way, Prabhupada is saying that how this whole Krishna consciousness movement is spreading by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. So that's one of the qualities of a sadhu. They are very merciful. Our Kapil Dev in Srimad Bhagavatam 3rd canto is mentioning the qualities of a sadhu. Is that titikshava karunika shrudam sarvadevna ajata shatra shanta sadhu sadhu bhushana. They are tolerant, titiksha, karunika. They are very merciful. So you can understand the mercy of sadhu by, like in case of Srila Prabhupada, in the case of this, all the assembled sages, they came to give their mercy on Mahārāja Parīkṣit. They came to give their mercy on all the conditioned soul. If not, everybody is engaged. So much maya, so much of sense gratification is available. Not just available, it increasing day by day. People are like scientists, are people with different technologies. They're encouraging us to how we can enjoy more nicely sense gratification. So, but the sadhus, they come to spread this Krishna consciousness. So, like example, this material world is there. How we can say the sun is there, and because of the sun, the whole world is moving, going on nicely. Similarly, the Krishna's samsara, the sadhus are there, who are there to spread Krishna sansar, who are there, who are preaching about Krishna. So out of their own causeless mercy, they come and they spread this Krishna conscious movement. So those people who are like dog eaters, those people who didn't even know about Krishna consciousness, nothing. At least in India, people know that, okay, that we know from the childhood, many of us heard about Ram, many have heard about Ramayana, many have heard of us heard about Krishna, Mahabharata, but they didn't even hear anything from their childhood, simply how to enjoy senses, how to eat nicely, sleep nicely, meeting, defending. This is what? Nidraya hriyate naktam vyavasayina cha vavaya Diva chatu haya rajan kutumba bharanenava. They know how to enjoy their senses. Night time, they spend their life either in sleeping, either in sex, and daytime how to make money or how to take care of the family. Nothing else. They think this is the goal of life, but no. Srimad Bhagavatam says that nathe vidu swartha gatim hi Vishnu durasaya bhairartamanena. They don't know that what is the goal of life. Because they are desiring something durashaya. They have these bad desires. Durashaya bahirartamanena. So, but the sadhus, out of their causeless mercy, they came, they spread this Krishna consciousness. Srila Prabhupada, the most merciful personality, he went to the West, he preached Krishna consciousness all over the world and made devotees. So, and then, since they also have qualitative powers of the Supreme Lord, we hear every day, in Mangalarti, we pray that Sakshad Haritrena Samasta Shastre. Sakshad Hari, why we say? Because spiritual master is the direct representative of the Lord. Sakshad Haritrena Samasta Shastre. That's why one should have that implicit faith in spiritual master. He is the mercy personification of the Supreme Lord. And then render devotional service unto him. And then by his mercy, we get Krishna. I was coming here to give the class. I was reading this wonderful quote from His Holiness Bhakti Charu Maharaj. He's saying that when spiritual master is engaging his devotees, disciple in the devotional service of Krishna, he's giving his mercy. The bona fide spiritual master is giving his mercy to get Krishna. So that's one of the wonderful qualities of sadhus, devotees. They give mercy, by which we can get Krishna prema, Krishna bhakti. That is sudurlabha. In the purport, Prabhupada mentioned that devotional service of the Lord is very auspicious. We know the 6 types of the pure characteristics of pure devotional service. Kleshagni, by rendering devotional service to a pure devotee, practicing Krishna consciousness, by following the 4 regulative principles, we become free from all the material miseries, kleshagni. And what happened as a result? Our life become auspicious, subhada. So, Krishagni, subhada, chandrananda, visheshatma, moksha laguta krit. And so like this, there are 6 points mentioned. So, when we practice Krishna consciousness, the whole life become auspicious. So, we want everybody of us, we want to live happily, and we want our life to be very auspicious. So how is that possible? Here Parīkṣit Maharaj is showing us with his own example that unless if you are not coming out of your family attachments, if you are not diverting your attachment from family to Krishna, then you will have problems. And then in that diversity situations, you don't know how to become happy. But here Parīkṣit is showing that in that adverse situations, how you can make it like as an opportunity to become more Krishna consciousness, how to make our life more auspicious. And then, so here you see that then seeing that seriousness of Mahārāja Parīkṣit, Srila Prabhupada once mentioned in Nectar of Devotion in the introduction, I guess, that the advancement of any sincere devotee depends on his seriousness, how serious he is. You may be having association of a pure devotee, you may be receiving instructions, but unless you are serious to go back to Godhead, unless you are seriously trying to practice Krishna consciousness, then it's no use. So then here the sadhus, they're seeing that how Parīkṣit was very serious to go back to Godhead. That's why when the sadhus see somebody is very serious to go back to Godhead, then what they do? They are pleased. They give their mercy. So here the sages, they are very pleased with Mahārāja Parīkṣit's actions, his determinations, his decision. And then they are praising him. They are giving his mercy. So we know, we also like morning when we recite, Yasya prasadat bhagavad prasadat. If you please the spiritual master, then you can please Krishna. You don't have to directly please Krishna. No, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is teaching us. Through the association of pure devotees, one can surrender to Krishna. Not directly, no. The process our acharyas have showed that Gopi Bharata Padakamalayur Dasa Dasanudas. Not directly. You come through the disciplic succession. You follow the instruction of your spiritual master. Take his instruction as your, your like goal of your life, and practice. And then seeing your sincerity, Krishna will bless you. Guru will bless you. The first line Srila Prabhupada mentioned, the purport also very, very nice, that Prabhupada is mentioning that the natural beauty of a living being is enhanced by rising up to the platform of devotional service. So Srila Prabhupada gave us that the process. Getting up early morning in the Brahma Muhurta, taking the auspicious and darshan of the Lord, and then after that chanting 16 rounds minimum. So then darshanarti, hearing Bhagavatam, very nice process Prabhupada has set up so that we can advance in Krishna consciousness. And then by doing that, generally the natural beauty also get enhanced. When we see devotees, they are very bright faces because they are inside, they are very happy. Those are inside happy. The face is the index of mind. That shows within you. When we see all the devotees here, I can see all the devotees. They are all bright faces. They are very happy. The same way, if you see outside world, they are all morose, kuntha, because they are always in anxiety. But devotees are in Vaikunta. Wherever devotees are practicing Krishna consciousness, that is not different from Vaikunta. Wherever here you see the sages assembled here to give association to Mahārāja Parīkṣit, that's not different from Vaikunta. So, and then like in Hyderabad, once I see that in a park, there's a laughing club. They teach for people how to become happy. They laugh, very loudly, ha 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 ha, and they try to become happy. But we see devotees are naturally happy. I see devotees are naturally smiling, not a Colgate or plastic smile. Natural smile. We are not being paid to smile. We are artificially, you can see in advertisement, there are people, they are paid to smile. They don't know how to smile. They are paid. We are paying you, now you smile. So they're smiling actually for money. So devotees, naturally they smile. That's how their faces are bright. And outside world, they are full of anxiety, tension, always thinking how to earn money, how to increase our economic, make economic progress, how to maintain family. That's why Bhagavatam says, Diya ate hayarajan kutumba bharanenavad. They are thinking that whole day, their whole life is actually thinking that how to maintain family life, how to actually nicely sleep, how to engage in mating, and how to advance, like materially advance, economically advance. The whole life, actually the modern society, the system is made in such a way that how to advance materially. There is no institute, Prabhupada always mentioned, there is no institute which teaches about the soul, how to actually become happy. And Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita that how one can be really happy. Bhoktaram yagnatapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram shuhudam sarvabhutanam gyatva mam shantim richate. That one who knows that I am the real Bhokta, you are not. So when we know that we are not actually the enjoyer, Krishna is the enjoyer, then we know what to do, how to please Krishna. So Bhoktaram yagna tapasam, the yagna, whatever yagna, we see outside world people are doing yagna, they don't know actually why they are doing. Many of them even don't know why they are doing. Some are doing for material gains, some are doing to please somebody or get some benefit out of it. But real yagna purusha, Krishna, they don't know. Bhoktaram yagna tapasam sarva loka maheshwaram shridam. He is the well-wishing friend of all living beings. So here also it's mentioned that Parīkṣit wanted to be the well-wishing friend of all living entities. He said, my relationship with all living, he wanted a friendly relationship with all living entities. So that's how we can see that devotees, when they are in that pure consciousness, they develop all these wonderful godly qualities. Yasyasti bhakti bhagavati akanchana sarve gune tatra samasate sura. Harava bhaktasya kuto mahadguna manoratena dhavato bhayi manoratena asyati dhavato bhayi. So when one engages in the loving devotional service of the Lord, he develops all the wonderful qualities of a devotee. So if we want to develop the qualities of a devotee, then we should engage fully in Krishna consciousness, not artificially, not partially. Krishna expects complete surrender. And Prabhupada has showed that how to complete surrender. Everything is there in Srila Prabhupada's books. We don't have to go to any other sister organization to understand. It only depends on us, how much we are sincere, serious. And then when you are serious and sincere, then ultimately all this knowledge of the revealed scriptures is, you can realize. Yasya deve parabhakti yatha deve tatha kuru yasyaita katithai arte prakashanti mahatmana. All the revealed scriptures, knowledge of the revealed scriptures, you can realize. The spiritual knowledge you get by realization, not by reading books. So that realization is very important. Brahma also got, after realization, he got that knowledge. Tene Brahma hridaya adi kavaya muyanti yat surya. So it all depends on how we take it seriously, sincerely and seriously, how we take this life. Srila Prabhupada in one life, he mentioned that the life of a living being is it's an opportunity for him to advance in Krishna consciousness, to prepare himself to go back to Godhead. That is the life. And at least for devotees, we know that how we can prepare. The process is there. We just have to follow it. And how you can follow it? In association of devotees. Individually is difficult. Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Shastra koi, love matra sadhu Sangha, Sarva Siddhi hoy. You can see that just 7 days of association Mahārāja Parīkṣit had. And then, even before that Takshaka, that snake came to kill him, he left, he went back to Godhead. He's not fearful of death. So devotees, you see, they are like, even when they are leaving their body, they are very bright, they are always thinking of Krishna. Srila Prabhupada personally showed from his own example that how to live one's body. He was in Vrindavan continuously translating or continuously speaking out Bhagavatam, speaking out how to increase this Krishna consciousness movement. So this is one of the symptoms of a pure devotee. They are constantly thinking how to preach Krishna consciousness. They are not that I am advanced, now I am a pure devotee, let me sit idly. No. They're thinking, even till their last breath, they're thinking how to advance, how to preach this Krishna consciousness. So Prabhupada showed us by his example, and then you can see that how Prabhupada left his body in association of devotees. I also have one more example of His Holiness Gaurgand Swami when he was in Mayapur. In association of devotees, he was speaking he was speaking about Mahaprabhu's pastimes, Mahaprabhu's pastimes in Puri. And then while speaking, out of their own will, they leave this material world. It's not that by force. This is different than about devotees and non-devotees. They are forced to leave this body. And devotees, they leave out of their own sweet will. They know that what is auspicious time. You can even see in the example of Bhishma Dev. He was waiting for the sun to enter the north. And then he left his body. When he saw Krishna before him, then he left his body. So we can also do that. If we practice nicely Krishna consciousness, we can prepare our life in a way that, that in association of devotees, in that pure consciousness, we can leave the body very peacefully. Outside people are like so much like horrible. They see so many creatures before them. They're passing urine, stool, and very like precarious, very bad situation they are in. But devotees, very happy. So by following Krishna consciousness, our life will become very auspicious. There are many things to speak. Each line, when I was reading this purport, that each line was so many things, so many lessons for us. Like Mahārāja Parīkṣit was absorbed in attachment for Lord Krishna. We should observe, we should immerse in thoughts of Krishna. Absorption and immersion. And then seeing this, the sages were very happy. So sadhus, when they see a devotee, they become very happy. So here also one line Prabhupada is mentioning, all inauspiciousness matters are removed from the path of a progressive devotee. Prabhupada once said that you practice Krishna consciousness, whatever I said you follow. Whatever stumbling blocks they come in your life, I will kick them all. So you just follow my instructions, simply. He said, I will kick all the stumbling blocks, just follow me. The process is very simple. So we can hear from Srila Prabhupada and follow his instruction. Make our life very auspicious, and then this way prepare ourselves to go back to Godhead. The whole movement is based on this, how to prepare oneself to go back to Godhead, how to prepare oneself for death. Because we don't know when death will come. At least Parīkṣit was very much fortunate. He was very fortunate. He had 7 days. We even don't know whether we'll leave after 1 hour, 2 hours. We don't know. So let us utilize this time opportunity in practicing, in advancing in Krishna consciousness, and make our life auspicious so that the whole movement can become auspicious. Let us come out of that, pray for each other so that we can come out of that, come out from that bodily platform. I and mine, I am this, I am that, this, I am brahmachari, grahastha, vanaprastha, sannyasi, brahman, vaishya, sudra. No. We want to become gopi, bharata, padakamalayar, dasa, dasanudasa. Thank you very much. Any comments and questions? We have His Grace Navina Neerath Prabhu, so you can see from Prabhu, his personal presence, very auspicious. Devotees are very bright. When I see him morning Mangalati, I feel very happy. So this is how we practice Krishna consciousness and become happy. Process is very simple, only we make complicated by so much using our brain. Process is there. Prabhupada give everything A to Z. Prabhupada said everything is there in my books. You only have to read carefully and practice. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Any questions or comments? Yes, Prabhu.
You were saying that creating adverse persecution from non-devotees is a challenge. You were saying that it's like a
challenging.
Yeah, like
what is challenging? You said.
You said it was like a good challenge, you know, when you create opposition.
Yes, challenge in material world means challenges. Like Krishna is saying, dukkhalayam ashashvatam. He labeled this material world dukkhalayam ashashvatam. A few days before I was here, going through from one devotee was hearing example that if you enter a rice mill, what do you expect? Rice. So this material world is dukkhalayam ashashvatam. So when you come here, there are problems at different level, but at least in devotee's life, if we practice nicely Krishna consciousness, there should not be many problems. There may be difference of opinion, but if the goal is to please Guru and Krishna, then there should not be a problem. Like Prabhupada gives the example, when the center, when you have this divider, when the center is fixed, when you make circles, that there is no overlapping, because the center is to please Krishna. The problem is that when the center is missed, when we don't have that fixed center, and then we think that I want to please such and such person or such and such. So that should be, that's the problem. Is it okay?
But when the opposition seems sometimes it becomes discouraging because
It
becomes discouraging when the opposition's completely victorious.
Opposition will always be there, even for pure devotees. Srila Prabhupada had so much of oppositions, isn't it? Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur also had. Even his, he had a threat for his own life. But devotees will go on with Krishna consciousness. No matter whatever opposition come, let it come. There will be oppositions. But he knows, he's like an elephant who is passing through the market. He knows his goal, so he's just going. He's not disturbed by the stray dogs, they're barking. He's not disturbed, he's focused on the goal. So devotees should be focused on the goal. And then problems will come, but devotees, when you are advanced in Krishna consciousness, though, you don't see them as a problems, as opposition. You see them that are blessings of Krishna. Like in Parīkṣit Maharaj's life, he saw this as an opportunity, not that it was a problem. This curse he took as an opportunity to surrender to Krishna, complete surrender. Yes, bro.
Hey Krishna Prabhu, thank you for the class.
Thank you.
You mentioned in the preface to the Nectar of Instruction, Srila Prabhupada writes the secret to success in spiritual life is one's seriousness. Actually, the word Prabhupada uses is one's attitude.
Yes, attitude, right.
So, of course, seriousness is one of them. Can you expand a little bit, like what this attitude comprises of in addition to seriousness? Are you able to hear me?
Yes.
In addition to seriousness, what are the other qualities or factors that comprise the proper attitude that one should have, which is a secret for success?
I think if you read Srila Prabhupada's books, there are different qualities. I can count some, but there's so many qualities. Even you hear about whole, like Leelamrit is full of all the wonderful qualities. They are serious, they are sincere. In Bhagavatam, 26 qualities are mentioned. Their devotees they are serious, they are very benevolent, and then they are practicing Krishna consciousness. They are mauni, they don't speak unnecessarily. So the different qualities are mentioned. So we can go through it.
these are more qualities that are manifesting through the practice, right? Like
Yes.
one cannot artificially imitate,
No.
being completely silent or being completely
Actually,
compassionate.
those who are advancing in Krishna consciousness, naturally they become humble. We don't have to artificially become humble. That the humbleness comes naturally. That's why when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his Srisashtakam, he have mentioned Trinadapi Sudhichena Taroropi Sahishnuna Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadai. Who can actually chant? One who is meek and humble. And it's not that artificially we can become meek and humble. No. That humility comes when you are sincerely practicing Krishna consciousness. The more you advance, the more you become humble.
So can we say seriousness and sincerity, like they comprise the attitude?
Yes. Those are, you can see, those are very serious, following their spiritual master's instruction. You don't see them doing prajalpa, getting into unnecessary things. They are very focused. They are focused. They know that the goal of life, and they know the life is very short. Anytime we may leave the body. So they are very sincere, serious. They are focused. So that's, of course, all these qualities are very much required. But it is mentioned that first you need to surrender. When you surrender, then you'll develop all the wonderful qualities. You don't have to separately, get them. Try to get them. When you are fully surrendered, then you develop all the wonderful qualities. It's
But surrender is also a process, right?
Yes.
Can you just surrender right away? Is it possible?
No, it requires practice under the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master. He shows you how to surrender. We don't know. He tells you how to surrender. He gives things which are favorable to practice in our Krishna consciousness. He tells these are things which are not favorable. You reject them. So like this, he presents us the whole process, how we can surrender. Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying, Sadanga Shanagati Hoibe Jat Tar Prarthana Sune Rajendra Kumar, Ananda Kumar. So the whole process, it's a systematic process there. You surrender to a spiritual master, do service to him, and when he is pleased, he will give you instructions how to practice Krishna consciousness, how to prepare yourself to go back to Godhead. The whole process is there. The whole process is scientific process. So I think it's almost 9 o'clock.
Thank you.
So we finish here. Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Nitai Gaur Pramanande. Hari Hari Bol.